Welcome to this Jake Flow Education Behavioral Economics Quick Concept Review. Today we will be talking about the sunk cost fallacy, go through a couple of examples, and showcase how to apply it to your daily life so you can make smarter choices. To start, the simple textbook definition of sunk cost fallacy is our tendency to continue investing resources, whether that be time, money, or effort, into a project, decision, or endeavor, despite evidence indicating that the investment will not be worth it in the end. Essentially, we fear having our efforts put to vain, which can cause us to act irrationally. This happens as we spend too much time thinking about how much we already put in, aka our sunk costs, rather than focusing on what will be most beneficial for us in the future. There's a key psychological explanation for sunk costs called loss aversion, and that is that we hate the feeling of regret. So to try to avoid that feeling, we may do things that are not truly beneficial for us in the long run. A common example of the sunk cost fallacy is the movie theater experience example. Imagine you went by yourself to watch a movie at the theater for $15. The movie starts, but 30 minutes in, you realize that it is the worst thing you've ever watched in your entire life. However, because you spent $15 and 30 minutes of your time on this movie, you decide to stick it through and finish it to get your money's worth. There's so much focus on what's already been paid that you do not realize that you wasted another hour of your life as you finished the horrible movie. This example of the sunk cost fallacy may not seem so severe, as only an extra hour of time was wasted. But this problem can scale to detrimental degrees. For example, imagine that instead of a bad movie, you put so much early effort into a toxic relationship. You may stay with your significant other despite no signs of hope or positivity just because you have already spent so much time, shared so many secrets, and put so much effort into the relationship. Consequently, you stay and suffer more, adding months of effort, money, and time to your sunk costs. That's what makes this pattern hard to break, because the longer you stay in a bad situation, and it doesn't just have to be a bad relationship. It can be a poor business idea, a bad job. The more that gets added to your sunk cost, and the harder it is to break because now you have put even more effort in. This is a horrible, horrible feedback loop. Big disclaimer, I'm not an expert in couples counseling or any of the other mentioned fields, so please don't go breaking up with your significant other or quit your job with the justification that JFlow Education told you to do it. Now, how can we apply this concept to our daily lives? How can we avoid falling into the sunk cost trap? The first and most crucial step is to be aware of when you are acting solely on sunk costs. Think about why you're doing or continuing to do any activity in your daily life, and then shift your focus from the past to the future. You see, the past is the past. The money, time, and effort have already been spent. There's no getting it back. But the future is up to you. Conduct a pros and cons cost-benefit analysis for the future. Be open to change and realize what course of action will genuinely make you better off in the future, rather than the action that makes you feel less guilty of the past. To get rid of the feeling of disappointment that will undoubtedly appear when you take action for the future, realize that the efforts you put into the past were not wasted. They taught you valuable lessons for when you make decisions in the future. And by cutting your losses early, you can begin to apply those lessons to those future choices. In conclusion, the sunk cost fallacy is a powerful cognitive bias that can impact our decision-making process. It stems from our aversion to feeling regret and our inclination to focus on past investments rather than future benefits. By recognizing the sunk cost fallacy and understanding its effects, we can actively work to avoid falling into its trap. Choose rationality over regret and empower yourself to make smarter decisions in all aspects of life.